Hi book lovers, welcome back to my channel. I took a little break from filming and editing and it's been quite nice. I kind of wanted to get a video up yesterday, but there was a Pokemon Go community day thing going on yesterday, so I was out and about walking around for 3 hours. But I'm feeling my filming editing mojo today, so I thought I'd do my July book haul. I already did a used books edition one a week or so ago, so you can check that out. I'll leave a link below. So these books are going to be just the ARCs that I received from publishers last month, some finished copies too, and some books that I bought for myself. I'm definitely forgetting some that I received last month. I usually post about them on Instagram, but this time I'm kind of too lazy to double check what I got and what I didn't. So these are the books that I remember getting last month. So I'll start off with some ARCs. Berkley Romance is one of my favorite romance publishers, and I am so lucky and grateful to be able to work with them. And they sent over some amazing early copies of books that I'm super excited to read. This first one is by the Queen of Paranormal Romance, the one and only Nalini Singh. This is book 12, I believe, in the Guild Hunter series, so not a standalone. This is a continuation of Elena and Raphael's story. I started this like a month ago on my Kindle. I'm still halfway done, but I've been holding off on finishing it just because I've heard that the ending is quite killer. The publicist was literally like, have tissues ready when you read this, and I'm so not prepared for that. And also I just don't want this book to end. I love Elena, Raphael, and everyone in the series. It's such an epic series. It's got like archangels, angels, vampires, vampire hunters. It's so awesome. Such an amazing urban fantasy series. Also, look at this cover too. Isn't it gorgeous? Like her wings. If you haven't read the series, I highly recommend it. It is quite long. I mean, I love long series, so I don't mind it, but I know it can be intimidating to some others. It's such a worthwhile read. You fall in love with all of these characters. The first book is about Elena and Raphael, the OG couple. Raphael is the Archangel of New York City, and Elena is a vampire hunter. So they're pretty much enemies because vampires work for archangels, but of course they end up falling in love. I mean, how can you not fall in love with Raphael, who is like this godly being? Elena is a kick-ass heroine. I love her so much, and I honestly can never get tired of reading about them. So this next one is Not the Girl You Married by Andy J. Christopher. I am so excited for this one. I actually got an earlier art copy from Polycon 2019 earlier this year. So this copy will probably be given away sometime. But this book is kind of like the rom-com movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. The hero and heroine form a deal and make a fake relationship to further their careers, but of course they end up falling in love. I think this cover is adorable. I love this puppy. I actually got to meet the author Andy J. Christopher at a Polycon, and she had her pug with him. He was so adorable. His name is Gus. I'll probably enter a picture here. I think this one sounds amazing. I love the fake relationship trope, and I can't wait to read it. So this next Berkley ARC that was sent to me is Jasmine Guillory's Royal Holiday. I love the premise of this one because it has older characters. I don't usually come across too many of these. I mean, I do love reading about characters who are my age group, like their early 20s, but I'm sure a lot of people will be very happy about this one. It's kind of a royal romance, but not really, because neither the hero or heroine is actually royal. They're just like royal adjacent. So this one should be a fun one. I haven't read her yet. I mean, I started reading her first book, but the writing wasn't really meshing with me, so I put it down and never really picked it back up. But I've heard great things about her latest one, The Wedding Party, so I'll probably read that one and then get to this one. Next up is one of my most anticipated reads of the year by one of my favorite authors from the whole wide world, and that is Twice in a Blue Moon by Christina Lauren. I was yelling when I got this in the mail. I was so happy and excited. Their last book, The Honeymooners, was not quite my favorite. I know a lot of people loved it, but I just didn't connect with it or the characters, but I am so excited for this one. It's a second chance romance, and if you know me, you know I love second chance romances. Their second chance romance, Love in Other Words, is one of my all-time favorite books ever. This one is set in the film industry. The heroine is an up-and-coming actress, so I'm excited to see Christina Lauren's take on this. My prayers at Tortine were answered when they sent me The Burning Shadow by Jennifer L. Armentrout. JLA is one of my favorite authors. I love the first book in the series, which is The Darkest Star. So this book is humongous. If you can't tell, like, this is a Christina Lauren book, which is like your average size book, and it's like twice the size. It's about 649 pages. I tried not to spoil myself because that has happened when I try to check the final page count. I accidentally spoiled myself on something. So this is a continuation of Evie and Luke's story, which I loved in their first book. This is full of aliens, romance, and like this whole sci-fi world that started with the Lux series, which was so good. And if you love fantasy romances, like new adult fantasy romances, definitely check the series out. I really love the first one, so I can't wait to read this one. So I ended up with another copy of Flash by Zoe Castile. I'm not sure how that happened. My other one is right here. I mean, you can never have too many covers of abs, but I'll end up giving this one away too sometime. The series is all about stripper heroes, playboy heroes who fall in love. The first book is Stripped, the second book is Hired, and if you haven't read them and you're looking for something that is extremely sexy but also surprisingly really sweet, definitely check the series out. So next up is How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Byrne. I've already talked about this one a little bit. I read this as an e-arc, but I'm still so happy to receive a physical copy of it. It's so gorgeous. Just look at that. I need me a man to look at me the way he looks at her. But anyway, this one is so good. Kerrigan Byrne writes historical romances more on the darker, more intense side, which I love. This series centers around 3 girls, one of which who was raped by the principal at the school that they went to. So trigger warning, rape happens in the prologue of this book, but it centers around how they killed him and covered up his murder. The heroine Alexandra has been blackmailed for years because of this, and she is pretty much running out of money. And so she tries to marry the Duke of Redmayne, Piers, and they end up falling in love with each other. I love this one. I think it's a fantastic start to a new series. I do still need to finish Kerrigan Byrne's other series that I fell in love with, the Victorian Rebel series. I read the first 4 books. I'm saving the others for when I'm craving her books, I guess. But this is so good. Definitely look forward to this. This one is out in a couple weeks. So the last romance arc I want to show you guys that I got last month is Down Too Deep by J. Daniels. This is one of my most anticipated reads of the year. I love the Dirty Deed series. I love J. Daniels, her stories, her alpha heroes. She kind of reminds me of Kristen Ashley, but not as over-the-top alpha with her heroes. This book has 2 single parents. The heroine is a single mom of twins, and the hero is a single dad of a little girl. We've met these 2 characters throughout the series, so I've been highly anticipating their story. This is Nate and Jenna's story. The last book, Bad For You, was one of my favorites from last year, and I'm pretty sure this will probably be ending up on my favorites for this year. I also got a young adult arc from Penguin Teen. I mean, I don't usually read young adult anymore, but I was really happy when they reached out to me because this book seemed like something that would resonate with me, especially like a younger me, and that is Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This is David Yoon's debut novel. He is the husband of Nicola Yoon. This is all about an Asian American, Korean American teenage boy who lives and grows up in Southern California. He ends up falling for a white girl, but to appease his parents, he starts fake dating another Asian American girl. This kind of seems like it's going towards a love triangle-y thing, which I don't mind. I don't hate them, so I'm excited for this one. If like a 15-year-old me had found this book, I would have loved it so much. I mean, Asian American, growing up in SoCal, wanting to find love, I mean, that is me. So again, I was so happy when Penguin Teen reached out to me about this. It came in this really awesome package. It came in this awesome package, which I accidentally showed upside down the first time. But here it is. So next up are some finished copies that I received from publishers. First are some historical fiction novels that I got from Random House. All the Flowers in Paris has 2 timelines, modern timeline and a World War II timeline, and they're both set in Paris. And then Home for Airing and Outcast Girls is set in early 20th century Texas. Next is like the most amazing package that I've ever received in my life, and it was all the books in the Knitting in the City series by Penny Reed. She sent me these and I legit screamed when I opened this box. It was pretty heavy too. So these are all in numerical order. Let's see if I can remember them because I can't read them backwards. But they are Neanderthal Meets Human, Neanderthal Marries Human, which is technically book 1.5 even though it's not novellicized clearly. It's a continuation of Janie's story. And then book 2 is Friends Without Benefits. 3 is Love Hacked, and then Beauty and the Mustache. Ninja at First Sight, which is the cutest novella ever. I love it so much. And then the full-length book for Ninja at First Sight, which is Happily Ever Ninja. And then Dating-ish, which is my all-time favorite of the series, Marriage of Inconvenience. And then this bonus novella that's full of like deleted scenes, which is Neanderthal Seeks Extra Yarns. My arms are so tired from holding that up. Wow. But thank you so much to Penny Reed for sending these to me. I've already reread some of my favorites. These are the editions with the illustrated covers and I love them so much. I think they're so well done. Author Stacey Hart designed these covers. Aren't they adorable? I love that all of them pretty much matches their heroine. Love Hacked is my second favorite of the series. It has like the best alpha hero who is, you know, quiet and mysterious. Wedding book. And the book that started it all. I also got some pretty mass market paperbacks. This one is Anne Gracie's Marry in Secret. This is about a dead husband coming back to life. I've been reading a lot of those recently. I don't know why, that ever since I read one, I see so many now, but it sounds amazing. This one is a paranormal romance, The Road King by Abigail Owen. The heroine is a phoenix shifter, which I've never read before, so I'm super excited about it. And the hero is a dragon shifter who is chasing after her. And then this one, A Highlander Walks into a Bar, is pretty much a modern Highlander romance. I've only ever read Highlander romances that are historical romances, so this one should be fun. I received this one from Iris Moreland. This is He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. This is the standalone sequel to Petal Plucker. I don't know if you can see it, but it's this yellow book right here. The first book was hilarious and so sweet, so I'm sure this one will be too. This is an Oops, I Accidentally Ended Up Married in Vegas book. I kind of love these kinds of books. Lick by Kylie Scott is one of my favorites, so I can't wait to see how this one turns out. This last one is a book that I actually won from the author. It's Written with Regret by Ali Martinez. I fell in love with Ali Martinez last year when I binged on her On the Rope series in audiobook. They're so good. If you love like sports romances, MMA romances, definitely check that series out. But this one is book 1 of a duet. I've heard that it is super angsty, super emotional. I've honestly only heard great things about this, so I'm really happy that I won this copy. So thank you so much to Ali for sending this to me. Also, it's signed. I did spend some money on books myself. I promise I do support authors. So I bought myself 2 books from 2 of my favorite indie authors, Tangled Like Us by Kristen Becker Ritchie and Luna and the Lie by Mariana Zapata. Tangled Like Us is book 4 in the Like Us series. It's about Jane falling for her bodyguard. I love this book. I love this series. I love Kristen Becker Ritchie. They are one of my all-time favorite new adult authors. And Sinful Like Us, the next book, should be out soon. So I'm definitely going to be reading that one. If you couldn't tell, I love them. These are all of their books, all of their contemporary books at least. They're one of the few authors who I need to collect all of their books from. So when I got like a Barnes & Noble coupon, I used it for this book. And of course I had to get Luna and the Lie. This is also another author whose books I have to collect. This was the last one that I needed to complete my collection, at least so far, until The Best Thing comes out. This is probably my favorite cover of hers. Might be a tie between this and From Luke Off with Love. This isn't quite my favorite of her books. Like, I did get a little frustrated with the heroine for too long, but it's definitely a worthwhile read. I mean, if you love slow burn, absolutely read this one and all of Mariana Zapata's books. Her next release, The Best Thing, which is coming out sometime this month. The heroine in The Best Thing is Luna's best friend, Lenny. You don't have to read this one to read The Best Thing, of course, but I mean, why not? This one's out already. It'll help you pass the time for when The Best Thing comes out. So those are the books I remember getting in July 2019. I'm sure I forgot a ton more. I really enjoyed doing this book haul video. Let me know if you enjoy these types of videos. I'm sure I'll do a lot more of them in the future. And also let me know if you're excited for any of the books that I showed you. My two most anticipated ones are definitely these two. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!